Hello, and a very warm welcome to all our listeners joining us for episode 63 of the EdTech Evolution podcast. I am your host, Sochieta, and today we are diving into a topic that is truly the heartbeat of modern schooling, the role of educational leaders in implementing technology. We have a very special guest in the studio today, a man who has transformed dozens of schools across the region with his visionary approach. Please welcome Mr. Saroon, a veteran educator and digital transformation consultant.
Thank you so much, Sochieta. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. I've been looking forward to this conversation because, as you know, technology in schools is no longer an add-on. It's the very foundation of how we prepare our students for the future.
You are so right, Saroon. But before we get into the nuts and bolts, I want to ask about the feeling behind this. When a principal or a school board decides to go high-tech, there's often a mix of excitement and, let's be honest, a lot of anxiety. How do you see the leader's role in managing those emotions?
That is such a profound starting point. You see, Sochieta, many people think a leader's job is just to sign the check for new tablets or high-speed internet. But the real work is psychological. A leader must be the chief empathy officer. They have to acknowledge the fear teachers have of being replaced or appearing incompetent in front of tech-savvy students.
Chief Empathy Officer. I love that. It suggests that leadership isn't just about the hardware, but about the hardware, if you'll excuse the pun. But how does a leader actually bridge that gap between here is a new tool and here is a new way of teaching?
It starts with vision, not gadgets. A leader must articulate a why that resonates with the soul of the educator. Instead of saying, we are using this app because it's trendy, they should say, we are using this tool to give our students a voice they never had before. When teachers see that technology can help them connect more deeply with their students, the resistance begins to melt away.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I remember talking to a teacher last month who felt completely overwhelmed. She felt like the technology was a barrier between her and her kids. How can a leader support someone who is genuinely struggling to keep up?
My heart goes out to those teachers. A leader's role there is to create a fail-safe environment. If a teacher tries a new digital platform and the lesson crashes, the leader shouldn't be there to criticize. They should be there to say, good for you for trying. What did we learn? We need to celebrate the bravery of experimentation as much as we celebrate the success of the results.
Yes, celebrating the process. Now, let's talk about the strategy. Beyond the emotional support, a leader has to be a navigator. What are the practical steps a principal should take to ensure that technology actually improves learning outcomes rather than just becoming a digital version of a textbook?
It's a multi-step journey. First, professional development must be ongoing, not just a one-day workshop in August that everyone forgets by September. A leader must protect time for teachers to collaborate. Second, they need to model the behavior. If the principal is still sending out paper memos while asking teachers to use Google Classroom, there's a massive disconnect.
Oh, we've all seen that. The do as I say, not as I do approach. It really undermines the whole initiative, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about being a co-learner. I always tell leaders, walk into a classroom and let a student show you how to use a feature. It levels the playing field and shows that learning is a lifelong communal process. That humility is a powerful leadership trait in the digital age.
I can see how that would change the entire culture of a school. But what about equity, Saroon? As a leader, how do you handle the digital divide? It's a heavy burden to ensure that technology doesn't just widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
That keeps me up at night, Sochieta. This is where leadership becomes advocacy. A leader's role extends beyond the school walls. They must work with the community, with local businesses and government to ensure internet access for all students. If we provide the tech in school, but the child can't do their homework because there's no Wi-Fi at home, we have failed. A leader must be a champion for digital equity at every level.
It really is a massive responsibility. It's not just about education, it's about social justice. Let's shift gears for a moment. With AI and rapidly changing landscapes, how does a leader stay ahead without burning out their staff?
By focusing on human skills, the more technology we introduce, the more we need to emphasize critical thinking, creativity, and ethics. Enthusiastically, a leader shouldn't chase every new shiny object. They should ask, does this tool help our students become better humans? If the answer is yes, then we find a way. If it's just a distraction, we have the courage to say no.
That is such a powerful filter. Cheerfully, we are coming toward the end of our time, but I want to ask, if you could give one piece of advice to a nervous school leader listening right now, what would it be?
I would say you don't have to be the expert. You just have to be the catalyst. Trust your teachers, listen to your students, and remember that technology is just a tool. The magic still happens in the relationship between the teacher and the learner. Keep that relationship at the center, and you cannot go wrong.
What a perfect note to end on. Mr. Saroon, thank you so much for your wisdom, your passion, and for reminding us that the tech in educational technology still starts with education.
It was my pleasure, Sochieta. Thank you for having me and for the wonderful work you do on the show.
And thank you to all our listeners. This has been episode 63. Remember, the future of education isn't just about the screens in front of us, but the vision behind them. Join us next week for more EdTech Evolution. Until then, keep leading with heart.